Hello and welcome back to the original Larry D's Food for Thought. Today we will be, of course, as you know, reading out of the Old King James Bible. Be reading from the Old Testament and from the New Testament to the law and to the testimony. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Okay? Also be going over a few scriptures today concerning the title, the Lord's Sabbath day, the seventh day of the week, for it is a sign between God and his people. The Lord's Sabbath day, the seventh day of the week, for it is a sign between God and his people. Okay, I am going to share these scriptures with you right quick. You can jot them down if you like, or either take a screenshot of them. But yeah, I'm telling you, people, I've spoken on this several times in the past, but people still seem to be bent stuck on keeping that Sunday worship. I don't understand it. I mean, just like the ears are stopped. But tell you something, it is important. I'm going to show you how important it is to keep the Lord's Sabbath day. All right? Because it is a sign between God and his people. Okay, and anybody that join their hand to the Lord to love the Lord and do what he say, hey, keep this Sabbath day, man. It'll be a sign between you and him as well. But I'll tell you something, that's a sign between God and his people. Now, that Sunday worship, that's a sign between you and somebody else. And we're gonna see if we can show you who that somebody else is. Just like the Lord told that Samaritan woman at the well. And he said, woman, you worship you know not what. And I'm telling you, hey, you worship you know not what. You keeping that Sunday worship, all right? But I'm gonna stop sharing these and we are going to go over these scriptures here and see if we can get a little bit of understanding on this thing. Because I'm gonna tell you something, people need to get this thing right. Granted, I mean, if you don't understand, I mean, you didn't know. Lord won't hold you accountable. But when you find out about it, it's altogether different ball game. Okay, Lord's gonna hold your feet to the fire. All right. But let's get started with this. We're gonna start this in Exodus, the 20th chapter. And a lot of you probably already know that what is here? The commandments, even the royal law. Okay. But I'm gonna start reading. Let me see. This is Exodus 20. I'm gonna start reading at verse 8. And it reads, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Okay? Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. It didn't say remember Sunday to keep it holy. It said the Sabbath day. Okay? Now, verse 9. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. Okay? Lord give you 6 days to do your work and your pleasures, okay? But the seventh day, Seventh, number seven, the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. Whose Sabbath day is it? It ain't the Jews' Sabbath day. It's not the Christian Sabbath day, okay? It is the Sabbath of the Lord. It's the Lord's Sabbath day, okay? Listen, in it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. Who's the stranger? That covers everybody else, even the Gentiles, all right? The Mr. White Man and everybody, all right? Verse 11, for in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, made it holy. Okay, so he gave it. That was etched in stone, and he mean what he say. Remember that Sabbath day, and you got to keep all the rest of these commandments. So on your own, you read it from uh, verse 1 all the way to verse 17. Okay? But let's go a little bit further because we're dealing with this Sabbath day. Let's go to Leviticus right quick. Go to Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, because people have a bad habit of saying, well, oh, you can keep any day of the week. We and the Jews, that's for the Jews. Sabbath day is for the Jews. But uh uh Sunday is for the Christians. Let's see. All right, this is Leviticus 23. I'm gonna read one verse, verse 3. Look, 6 days should work be done. He said it again. All right. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. So whose Sabbath day is it? It's the Lord's Sabbath day, not the Jews, not the Gentiles, okay, not the stranger, not the Christians. He said it is his Sabbath day, okay? And he told you to keep that holy convocation. What is that? That's a holy gathering. So you go to church on Saturday, okay? Seventh day of the week. Now, let's go back to Exodus right quick. I want to show you this. This is Exodus, let's see, Exodus 31. Take a quick look at this here. This is Exodus 31. And right here is when the Lord was talking, told Moses, he said, hey, tell the children of Israel, and now Israel was supposed to teach the whole world God's commandments, laws, and statutes, right? So let's see what the Lord told him to tell them. This is Exodus 31. I'll start reading at verse 12, and it reads, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, verily, he said, verily, my Sabbath, his Sabbath, okay, ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, plural, okay, that ye may know that I am the Lord that doeth sanctify you. You put your hand to the Lord and you start keeping his Sabbath day, that'll be a sign between you and him as well, and you will be set apart, okay, sanctified. All right, verse 14. Listen, ye shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. Whoa, you see that? The Lord had an example. Oh, on your own, go and read, I think it's in, hmm, I think it's, what is that? Let me see, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, the 15th chapter. He to tell you, there's a guy out there picking up sticks on the Lord's Sabbath day. He was working. Lord told you don't do no work. What did he tell people? He said, kill him, stone him to death. All right. But you say, well, LD, I didn't keep it Sunday. I ain't been keeping the Sabbath day. Lord, I'm still living. He ain't killed me. You forgot to add the word yet. Okay. Look, payday is coming at the end of the line. Okay, because Lord's word is true. And he don't change. He had that written in Malachi, the third chapter. So remember that. All right. But for whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. All right. So now, granted, oh, nowadays, your boss man tell you, hey, we're gonna be open Saturday, so I need y'all to come in to work. Okay. You gotta do that, right? You gotta feed yourself, you gotta feed your family, right? Okay. Well, the Lord understand that. Look, he is a reasonable God. We say, come, let us reason together. All right, he understand that. But if you don't have to work, hey, don't do it. All right. But verse 15, 6 days may work be done. Said it again, didn't he? But in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest, holy to the Lord. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. And he mean what he say. Okay. So if you don't have to work, don't. All right. But let's see, verse 17. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. So he told Israel that, and Israel both told the world. All right. But let's go a little bit further because you keep saying, yeah, I know LD, but the Lord told Israel that. He didn't tell us that, that. Oh, stranger might be saying that, Gentiles, whoever. But let's see. Let's go going right here to Isaiah 56. And I'm going to start reading at verse 1. And it reads, listen, thus saith the Lord, keep ye judgment and do justice, for my salvation is near to come, and my righteousness to be revealed. Verse 2, blessed is the man. Did he say blessed is the Jew or blessed is the stranger? Mm-mm. Blessed is the Gentile? No. He said, blessed is the man that doeth this, and the Son of Man that layeth hold on it, that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and keepeth his hand from doing any evil. Okay? So now, don't pollute the Lord's Sabbath day. All right? How do you pollute the Lord's Sabbath day? Doing any and everything under the sun that you want to do on Saturday. Washing your car, washing your clothes, cleaning your house, mowing your lawn, going to the ball game, doing everything under the sun, polluting the Lord's Sabbath day. He said, don't do it. All right. Verse 6. Also, the son of the stranger. Who's a stranger? Covers everybody else, right? That join themselves to the Lord to serve him and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servant, everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, say it again, and taketh hold of my covenant. Hmm. Don't pollute the Lord's Sabbath day. Even them will I bring to my holy mountain to make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifice shall be accepted upon mine altar, for mine house shall be called that house of prayer for all people. Okay, now, what do he say? All people. All right, so it's not just the Jews, not just the stranger, but for all people. All right, so let's go further. Let's turn right over here with Isaiah 58. Show you something else about this. You go and keep that holy convocation and go to church. Let's tell you what the Lord tell you to do here. Look here. This is Isaiah 58, and start reading verse 13. And it reads, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words. See that? Look, 14. Then shalt thou delight thyself in the Lord, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. The Lord's word is true. Okay, you keep his Sabbath day and his laws and statutes. Hey, he will bless you. Okay. You'll see a difference. All right. Now, let's go further here because he's talking about speaking your own words and everything. Let's see. Let's verify that right quick. Let's go to Ecclesiastes, the fifth chapter, and I'm going to start reading at verse 1. And it reads, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God. You go to church, listen, and be more ready to hear than to give sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. All right, verse 2. Be not rash with thy mouth. Don't be running that mouth, and let not thy heart, your mind, be hasty to utter anything before God. For God is in heaven, and thou upon the earth. Therefore, let thy words be few. If you're gonna speak anything, speak about that word, man. Okay. I don't go in there and utter everything that come to your mind. All right. Look, I'm a victim of it too. I run my mouth sometime, but late. I'm trying to get a hold of that thing. All right. Because none of us is exempt. Okay. So we got to try and do this thing. Do it right. All right. Just like the Lord say. Because we know what we're trying to search for. We are seeking that salvation, man. All right. But let's go a little further here. Let's go over here to Luke. Because people talking about, oh, well, well, Lord, what did the Lord do? You want to ask that question? I'm going to tell you something. You call yourself a Christian. What is a Christian? It means to be Christ-like, right? Well, let's see what Christ did. Okay. Let's see what day he went to church on when he was here on the earth. All right. This is the Luke 4th chapter, and I'm going to start reading at verse 14. And it reads, and Jesus returned in the power of the Spirit into Galilee, and there went out a fame of him through all the regions round about. And he taught in their synagogues, he taught in the churches, being glorified of all. Verse 16, and he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and as his custom was, what's a custom? Something you do all the time, right? All right. As his custom was, he went into the synagogue, he went into the church on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read. So, you want to be a Christian? You want to be Christ-like? Do what Christ did. He went to church on Saturday. Okay, on the Sabbath day. Okay, but let's go further. Let's take a look at this. Because everybody want to say, well, Well, what about Paul and them? Well, let's see. Let's see what Paul and them did. Let's see if they went to church on Sunday. Let's go to Acts, let's see, on Acts 13. Take a quick look at this. Man, people look for every excuse under the sun. They're trying to get away from the Lord's Sabbath day, boy. I tell you, man, let me tell you something. Look, do a little research. Find out, man. A Gentile gave you Sunday worship, okay? In the year 321 AD, a guy named Emperor Constantine gave you Sunday worship. Back then, if you didn't do it, he put the sword on you. And so people been doing it ever since. Look, you gonna do what a man say, or you gonna do what the Lord say? Ask yourself that question, all right? But let's see here. We are Acts 13, and I'm gonna start reading at verse 13. And let's see what Paul and them did, all right? This is Acts 13 and verse 13. And it reads, excuse me. Now, when Paul and his company loosed from Patmos, they came to Perga in Pamphylia, and John departing from them returned to Jerusalem. Verse 14. But when they departed from Perga, they came to Antioch in Pisidia and went into the synagogue, went into the church on the Sabbath day and sat down. So, when did Paul and them go to church? On the Sabbath day. Okay? Man, all through this book, Lord, talking about keeping that Sabbath day, right? And it's a sign between you and God. Okay. Now, let's go back to Isaiah right quick because I want to show you this. Also, the Lord got his Sabbath day on Saturday. And those that worship him in spirit and in truth. And that is a sign between uh, you and God, all right? If you keep his Sabbath day. I'm gonna tell you something. On your own, you can go and read. I think it's Second Thessalonians, second chapter, around verse 13 or so, down through there. You start reading that. Satan got him some ministers. I'm gonna tell you something else he might have too, and you be discerning of this. But I'm gonna let you read. I'm gonna read this to you. Look here. This is Isaiah 13. I'm sorry, Isaiah 14, and start reading at verse 12, and it reads. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Now, Lucifer was Satan's name before he got kicked out of heaven. Lucifer means light bringer. He used to bring the truth. But when iniquity was found in him, the Lord kicked him out. And all those old evil angels that followed him, they all kicked out. Where they at? Down here on this earth, walking to and fro in it and up and down in it. Okay? Now, but they down here, and they tried to persuade you. All right? Listen, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weakeneth the nations? Okay, verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, O Satan, and said in his mind, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. Ooh, I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. So Satan said he want to go back to heaven, right? And we know we can't go to heaven. So you keep saying you want to go to heaven. Who you following? Think about that. All right. Just want to throw that in there. Verse 14. Listen, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. Listen, listen to this now. I will be like the Most High. Oh, you want to be like God, huh? Verse 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell to the sides of the pit. So the Lord got his Sabbath day on Saturday, the seventh day of the week. Do you think Satan say he want to be like the Most High? You think he got himself a Sabbath day? Wonder what day that might be. You think about that. All right. I know I might get some kickback from it, but hey, if you have any discernment, you'll see this thing, right? Just like he told that woman at the well. Woman, you worship, you know not what. Okay. Now, let's go to this last place right quick. I'm going to show you this. Okay. Well, going to Revelation 22nd chapter, last book in the Bible. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to read two verses. I'm going to read verses, yeah. Let's see, Isaiah 14, Revelation 22, and start reading at verse 14. All right, listen to this. Blessed are they that do his commandments. Over here in the last book of the Bible, and he's still talking about keeping those commandments, right? Okay. And what is one of those commandments? The fourth commandment? Remember the Sabbath day. Keep it holy. Okay. So he's saying, blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. What city? Holy Jerusalem. The Lord gonna have his kingdom set up here. Okay. But look at this, verse 15. For without, and that's outside that kingdom, all right, are dogs. And I ain't talking about four-legged dogs neither. Okay. He's talking about them homosexuals. All right. If they bother to read this right here and go and read, I think it's Genesis 19th chapter about what the Lord did to Sodom and Gomorrah when he destroyed all them Sodomites out of the land. And the Lord had it written in Malachi the third chapter that he don't change. Tell you what, I bet you they'll change. I bet you they'll change. If they don't, well, like I say, got something waiting on them at the end of the line, plain and simple. All right, may not be getting it in the back now, but it's coming. All right, but for outside, for without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. Ooh, you mean liars won't be in God's kingdom? That is correct. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. Look, none of us is exempt. Myself, you know what? My son caught me in a lie. And I lied. I don't know if it did it out of desperation or what. But I said, no, I didn't. And he called his son. Well, he talked to his brother. Brother said, yeah, Dad, you did lie. I said, oh my goodness. You know what? Sometimes we do it. It's so easy to tell a lie. All right. But I tell you what, you know what I had to do? I had to go and get down on my knees, confess my sin, and repent of it. Okay? And that's what I tell you. Do the same thing. So be careful. Don't be rash with that mouth. All right? Think before you speak. Because I'm telling you, man, that this tongue of ours is a powerful member. It will get us in trouble with the Lord quickly. Okay? But I told that lie and I had to repent of it. Okay? You have to confess your sins. Lord, I have sinned. And be sincere about it. And don't do it anymore. Okay? But like I say, I am not exempt. We all have to adhere to this holy word. Okay? But remember this, people. The Lord's Sabbath day, the seventh day of the week, for it is a sign between God and his people. Okay? Now, with that food for thought, think on these scriptures and words throughout the course of the day. And until next time, peace.